All right, man. So we are live. Welcome to the stream. It's our first live, and it is April the 14th. It is 8 p.m. on a Sunday. Got my man Big with me.
Big in the house.
And
How
who
y'all
are
doing?
we?
The outspoken ones.
Ones, baby. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So we did a video a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago?
Yeah.
We put out a little. So here's what we're going to do. So we did a video a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago.
Yeah.
We put out a
Sorry.
little. So that's you.
That's me.
Here's what we're gonna do.
That
So we did a video a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago.
Yeah.
We put out a
Sorry.
little. So that's you.
That's me.
Here's what we're gonna do. So we did a video a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago.
There it is. I found it. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Hey, look, we are feeling our way.
This dude is excited. He's past excited. He's like, he's ready to go. So listen, here's the deal. So all jokes aside, a lot to talk about right now. We got to get right into it. If you're live, you can post comments. Big, you're taking care of watching the chat.
Right.
If anybody comes in, whatever's going on.
It's early.
But also, I want people to know that when we do this, that we want people to understand, we're also appealing to people who watch later. So it's not it's live. We want you to watch live. We want to partake in your opinions and talk to you. But we also have to go with, people are going to watch later. So it's going to be kind of a back and forth, straightforward. We're going to just move on, shoot and go. And tonight,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Because you'd already got us going, man.
What I was gonna say is that
you guys,
even though that was the playback, right?
Yeah, you excited.
It sounded really good. That's
Didn't
it? It just, I just had the wrong channel open. It's all good though. We're good. We're good to go.
But did you enjoy it?
I thought it sounded good. I like good audio, man. I'm all about that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you enjoyed it, it's okay.
Yeah, man. What do you think?
All right. So tonight we're going to get into a little touchy topic right now. And we got little politics on the scale for the first up. We're going to talk about a little bit about Iran, Israel, Middle East, and what's going on there. And that's very controversial. And, obviously when you start talking about stuff, you get canceled. People don't want to talk to you, or one side hates you, or one side likes you, depending on your opinion. Unfortunately, that's the way life goes for every topic, though. It's not just Middle East. It's everything. The way you fucking drive. If you drive a certain way, somebody fucking hates you. So it's okay. Now, with that being said, driving, now people do lose their lives driving a certain way. Innocent lives get taken. Same thing with conflict and war. So we just wanted to touch on it for a minute and kind of, pass our views around. And we don't want to get too deep into it right now because obviously it's escalating and we want to see where we're going without being judgmental. But man, yesterday, for those who don't know, and let me just put the disclaimer out there. It's in the description below, but we're an opinionated individual show here. This is our page. We own this. This is ours. Okay. So if you come here, be understanding that we're going to say what we want to say, and you may not agree. And that's why you can comment as long as you're respectful of others. You agree with that, Big?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So it may not be something you agree with. So, and if you want to educate us or talk to us or tell us something that you feel, put it in the comments. It's fine.
We're open. We're open. If you guys are rocking with us, we're open for the dialogue, because the whole thing is about, it's basically like they say, each one teach one. There's gonna be some things that we're really high versed on, and then there's things that we may have someone that come in that may have a tremendous amount of background and knowledge on, and we're willing to listen and learn, man. So let's go for the ride. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah. So right now we're jumping straight to Iran. So Iran threw 300 projectiles, missiles, drones in Israel's direction yesterday. And, they were successful at like shooting down so many with the Iron Dome that I believe is provided by the U.S. And I guess the big topic is, and this might sound, fucked up, but like put everything aside for a minute. Should the US be involved in that? And it comes down to not just being involved with retaliation, but providing weapons to Israel. Now, eh, you know, if you're religious and you believe in like, Jesus Christ, the Holy Land, you may have a certain feeling. It's a very tough topic to get into. And I just like to hear people's thoughts and see where we are. Are we, should we engage in a war if Israel is retaliated against further, or if Israel retaliates back, which they're hailing the Iron Dome as their savior, and that everything worked out well.
Mhm.
Hopefully, that's good. That I don't, that's not good. But what I mean is, we don't go any further. No more conflict. We don't need anybody. Innocent people die. That sucks.
True indeed.
It sucks
And
when anybody dies. Not just innocent. It just sucks. Now, if you're a grimy motherfucker, then you die. We have different opinions on that.
but who
Whatever.
determines that? Let's talk about that. That's a very good point what you just made,
Okay.
because one grimy person that's, looked at as grimy still has
Mhm.
a family, probably still has some people that they care deeply about, still has some reasons why maybe they're doing something that
Then
doesn't
that
appeal to the
motherfucker
masses.
shouldn't have made the decisions he made. He should have been at home fucking taking care of his family and not out there doing terrible shit to people.
No, I agree with you on that. It's just
And that
that
talks to any side. I'm not picking a side. I'm telling you,
right,
anybody, anybody,
right.
anybody. So yeah, we talked about this with OJ. Does the
A little
family
bit.
do you still mourn the family lost a loved one, but do you still feel bad for OJ? But yet he was found not guilty. We talked about this, we went back
Right.
and forth. But how the October 7th, I believe it was when uh Israel had, they had a festival going on, people died. Now, remember, when Big and I talk about these things, doesn't mean we're well informed. Doesn't We're not a news agency. You know, this
We're
just
not
means
a
that
news
this is
agency.
well, no, we're not though.
No, no,
Let's
no,
be
I'm
honest.
with you.
It's the opinions. And we're just skimming through and we're doing our thing, and we just wanted to come and bring our opinion to the table like everybody else. But
You
we
know,
also want
I wish there was a way, because one thing that concerned me when I heard about how many missiles and Scuds and whatever else they released,
drones or something.
drones and
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
and there were some other, I can't even remember all the names of them because I'm not a missile specialist or whatever, but what's in those? When if they're shot down, are the people below still protected? Or is there something in it that,
Great
I mean,
question.
like gas or something?
Chemtrails and shit like that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, because, yeah, it didn't hit its target, but is there still an impact to the environment in that area to those people?
I would
You're talking about, they
well,
said it was, like,
I
close to
would say
300.
most are non-chemical. They're more deadly on impact with, shrapnel.
Okay,
So my opinion would be you wanna shoot it down when it's way up versus when it's close to the ground or hitting the ground.
okay.
It's
And,
just, I don't know for sure. I can't verify that.
mhm, I got you. It's just, it's sad, man. Um,
It
you
is,
know
it's terrible, and here's the thing, like, for the Palestinians who are just innocent folks behind a regime who wants to do harm to certain people, you know, if you don't agree with what's happening and you're there and you're stuck there, you have nowhere to go because you got Egypt, to your east, or to your west. Um, where do you go? Well, actually,
I mean, that's a
you don't. You don't have nowhere to. It's not even a question. I don't know why I'm even bringing it up. Why do you don't have anywhere to go? So if they're trying to flush out, what they consider terrorists, what do you do? And then Iran gets in the mix. Now Iran feels like they had a proxy, I guess, destroy something. So they went after Iran, and they feel like they did their thing. Nothing hit the ground, maybe other than one missile. So I guess Iran's kind of feeling like, hey, we we did our thing and we won't retaliate any further. That's what I've read.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just know that right now that's a hot topic, man, and a lot of people are on it, and there's a lot of voices, a lot of sides,
A lot of
and but when does humanity come into it? Like, when do you take humanity's side? You know?
I think, man, I mean, that's a wonderful question, but when you get to the level of war and launching missiles,
Right.
I mean, from my this is my opinion, humanity's out the window at that point because, you know, what's the targets? I mean, we see this happen, again and again, even back when, there was unrest in, out of, Putin, and that
Oh, Ukraine.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a, what do you call it?
Aficionado
There you go. When it comes to that
of wars going on.
on war, it's not my thing is not war, but, I'm still a person. I still have concerns because it was some awful things that happened to some very, very innocent people or people that had nothing to do, had
To
no
do with it.
decision, and they were
Right.
just in the way, pretty much just being collateral damage. And, it's heartbreaking. I'm glad that, um, we are where we are, and, it feels pretty protected. I mean, we had,
Shit.
if we go back to looking at we talked on the last show about 9/11 and the impact of those things. When you see, it looks like we live over here in a fortress, but it showed us back then in 9/11, that, also there's a way that we can be penetrated as well. And we got to have compassion, and we got to have, I would say, I hate to say we have to or we got to have, but as a human, I would hope that we would have compassion for the civilians and, just for the situations of people that are being impacted that have no decision, in the matter whatsoever. They're just in the way.
Yeah, and
That's
and I think that leads back to, it sucks that because of your religion or the turf you live on, which you by the way, no one chose to be born any fucking where they are. So if you
Mhm.
think I'm this or that, that's fine to represent and be strong behind your what's the right word? Your upbringing or where you're from, your DNA or whatever. It's fine to be proud of that. But you didn't choose to be anything.
Right.
For all you know for all you know, somebody was having a good time and you were made.
It's
I
always
mean,
9 times out of 10, man, it's a good time. You
nine
know?
times somebody's having a good time and it wasn't planned. So I'm sure there's a handful of planned people, and then guess what? Great for you. I'm sorry you had to go through that too, because I didn't choose this shit. Neither did you. And it just sucks that based on where you are, based on you know, your religion and how you believe and what you feel, you're persecuted or you're treated a certain way. And it stretches even further than that, man. We can get into sexuality and all kinds of shit. It's just so much shit. And the reason why I bring that up is the Iran conflict. Apparently, for 4 centuries or it's been a long time, they've never directly attacked Israel, even
Mhm.
though it was part of Palestine. Now Iran, for those people who don't know, that's it's Persia basically. It's a very old country, and and like I said earlier, make sure you do your own due diligence. Make sure you fact check or whatever you want to do. And we're an opinionated show, supposedly, right? We feel like we know something and we put it out there. But
I'm not trying to really shift the gear, but you
no,
said
go ahead, shift it.
Persia. Isn't that
Just
isn't
don't
that
grind
where
your gear though.
isn't that where the Kardashians are aren't they Persian?
I mean, you're. I don't.
I
You got.
don't know. It just came to me like
I mean,
it
that's
just
what you
popped in my
shifted
head.
to.
Like I just
I guess it's better to shift into taxes right at the moment, even though we're going to discuss taxes in a few moments because I know Big is really stuck on this tax shit. So
yeah, and I
we're going
did
to get to taxes. You're
you
really
know,
stuck.
guys, I'm gonna tell you, there's certain things that we have to be aware of,
Mm.
that's impacting us. There's so many things that we've just agreed pretty much we've been criminally complacent in certain areas. Um because it seemed like it didn't hurt. And then you wake up one day and you look and you're like, there's what's that movie, Pinhead? You remember that movie that is like a horror movie where the guy had all these needles just like coming out of his body? He was some kind of horror person. Well, you wake up and you're full of needles and you wonder where they came from. And they're not all the way in you, they're just partially in you.
Pinhead. I don't think his name is Pinhead,
It's
but
not-
yeah.
Somebody's got to know, man. Somebody's got to know. Well, look, whether you're watching it now or watching it on the replay, if you know what I'm talking about, if I'm wrong, give us the right, whoever that guy is that was in that movie. But what happens is you wake up and you look, you're like, ow. And then you roll and you realize there's pins all in you. You wonder what happened.
Right.
The impact has come from some of those things that are impacting us directly. Like I said, I'm a huge advocate of the middle class. I can't speak for, I know we were just talking about other countries, other parts of the world. I can really, my focal point is for the people that are here and kind of share some of the things with me. And like I said, I'm to the point I've gotten past the the party loyalty. I'm looking at candidates. I'm looking at what they're doing individually. And I think that's what we need to do as a group, is look at candidates and see who really is voting. Because people say, well, you'll hear this. And anybody listening or watching, you're going to hear this. People will say, well, I don't agree with 100%. Well, you know what? Let me just clear that whole topic up of I don't agree with them 100%. There is nobody outside of yourself that you agree with 100%.
Well, shit, I don't agree with myself 100%. So
right. And that's part of my point is that
hold on.
Change your mind at some point.
I come here to preach to you today.
But that's what he's going to do. He's going to preach to you. So go ahead, because you're going off. So
I'm just asking the people that come in and rock with us and watch and interact as we continue to move during this election year, that we can stir it up to the point where it becomes a real topic on the debate trail. I'm sick of hearing about the same stuff every 4 years, and then they get in and don't do anything. Let's talk about something that happens.
All right, so we'll shift gears. We'll go straight into it. But I wanted to get to world markets, because the stock market right now is, and across the globe, seems to be taking a hit because some people will say it's just inflation concerns. Inflation's been around for a long freaking time, right?
It's going nowhere, bro. It's always going to be around.
Yeah. So, that's been a while. So let's put that aside. Stock market been booming ass while we're talking about inflation. The stock market's down 500 points the last time I checked, and world markets, every market except Japan was like up, but like 0.001%. Everybody's hurting right now. But I think it's based on what happened with Iran and Israel. It's unprecedented. So it's one of those things that drive. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that the stock market is more important than people. But there are people who depend on the stock market.
Well, everyone does. And I think you were saying it's related. I think you were saying it's related. I didn't take it. I mean, I'm just saying.
No. But I wanted to clarify that. So for the fucker that thought so, I'm just clarifying. It's whatever. But we can segue into talking about candidates. So based on just the last 2 times we've done these videos, do you feel like that the candidate that's in office right now, that maybe something wasn't given that you were promised, or something you didn't feel? Are you ready to go there, or you want to wait for that?
Let me say this,
because I can tell you the other option if you want to know it. If you didn't already know.
The option is.
Yeah. I figured you knew that.
No. Yeah, I know.
When we sit here and start bitching, let's not be complicit on like the rest of the fucking media and give a pedestal to somebody who definitely, it's unfortunately it's a lesser of 2 evils in my opinion. So before we go there,
true,
make sure that you're ready to go there before you knock a motherfucker and give a pedestal to the other motherfucker.
See, the thing,
I ain't even give no names. I'm just saying in general.
No. And I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is,
because I
At
can't
this
stand
point,
them.
I feel like, look, these two main parties have worked together forever. It's like wrestling,
Work
man.
together?
It's like absolutely every election, every presidential election or any big election, it's a pay-per-view, dude. That's
Work
what it
together.
is.
One side. Listen, you know how many times I've
They
heard
do that in public,
Caravan?
man.
I've heard Caravan from one side and not Caravan from the. First of all, dude, that's. Look, we're gonna stay on topic tonight because we gotta make sure we work on this. We get so passionate about things that we really want to go into another realm or another level. And unfortunately, you know what sucks? And I put this in a little disclaimer below. I said, it doesn't always reflect our views or our opinions when we comment, because we may feel a certain way when we're heated, when we're talking, but also we don't have enough time to explain ourselves. You can only keep it so long. People lose interest. People won't watch. You have to, it's hard to do, man.
Spice it up a little bit. But it's, we're all, see, my thing is, I just really hope that we can start to see past, because everybody wants something and nobody's getting probably 20% of what.
When you're saying everybody, what do you want? What is it that you want?
You know what I want? I want people to have some freedom, some financial freedom, because inflation is always going to be around. It's never going away.
Right now, what is inflated that you can't grasp?
Everything.
Give me an example.
Gasoline, groceries.
You can't afford groceries?
I'm sorry?
You can't afford groceries?
Look, dude, look.
But if you're going to speak from your standpoint of how you feel, I need to hear how are you going to speak from the next man if you can afford groceries?
Well, I mean, everybody doesn't do what I do, or make what I make. I mean, but
so you're trying to talk for the smaller man. When I
well,
say
not
man,
necessarily that. The middle class is huge, and if you pay attention to what's going on in the world, they mentioned that the gap is going to be between rich and poor is going to be what it is. It's not going to be like a middle class. It's going to be a rich, and then it's going to be poor. Just a bigger group of poor people.
Do you believe that?
I absolutely believe, because it's showing up right now.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And I believe it. Let me tell you why. When you got average rent in areas where the wages haven't raised and God knows how, it's $2,000, $2,200 for like a 2-bedroom. You got people on minimum wage having to pile up.
Yeah, great point.
You may be double bunking or even triple bunking in some cases to just try to get a roof over your head, and it shouldn't be that way. If people go to work, even at a minimum wage, they should be able to afford to rent a place to live. They should be able to afford a car to buy. Don't got to be a brand new car. Don't got to be a brand new apartment.
Yeah, but that's the whole beauty of the market, though. The market sets the price. So when you say afford, what I'm hearing is, in my opinion, if the majority of people were poor, then the prices of the cars would come down. You can't tell me that people are poor, but yet the market stays here for a car. You're speaking to somebody who buys a lot of cars.
No,
for example, I'm just telling you that if the demand is not there, then the car will not sell. It's common knowledge.
Do you realize that people buy things all the time they can't afford?
Okay.
I was in finance, and what would happen? This is the biggest.
You go in debt, you run out of money.
Well, this is the biggest mistake that people make.
How long ago were you in that, though? It's been over 15 years.
It's been over, but it's a part of me.
And what I'm telling you is,
I was in it.
You would think that everybody would run out of money at some point.
They do run out of money because they will go off of what someone says you're approved for.
Okay.
See, you have to run your household like it's a business. Just because you're approved for $100,000 car, I'm just being off the rails here, but let's say
you make it even, yeah.
Let's say if you're approved for a $50,000 car, you're approved for it. That means
you can afford
you're credit worthy, and it says your income can handle it based on the
Not knowing your
requirements
spending
of the
habits as well,
finance.
not just but your spending habits.
No, it's not about that.
Doesn't know your
It's
spending.
if
It don't, but I'm saying when you're approved, doesn't know your spending habits. Doesn't know if
true.
you go out to a restaurant twice a week. It just knows that your bills that you owe by a guarantee versus a credit card.
That's
You owe
on your credit report.
right. That's
The
what I'm saying.
bills
So you
that you
owe
owe,
this,
that's
this,
on your
and this,
credit report.
and you got the money, but doesn't know that, hey, maybe they have a gambling habit. Maybe they go out 3 times a week and eat. Maybe they go spend money on alcohol or cigars or whatever.
That doesn't take into account if you were working.
Why are you not holding the individual accountable?
Say again?
Why are you not
No,
holding?
no. I am. Just let me get it out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Get to the point. So what I'm saying is, you can be approved for whatever, but you have to be responsible for how you spend your money. Because the approval is not the end all be all, but most people get excited because they've been enticed by this item that they want, and they want it so bad that I can afford it. Well, on paper you can, but what happens when your HVAC unit goes out? Can you afford to get that fixed? What happened when your kids, I don't know, they need braces, or they're an athlete and they need some more equipment. Like, to me, those things are more important than a flashy car. A car is for transportation. It's
That sounds like a personal problem to me. And I'm a liberal dude. I'm liberal as you're going to get. I just feel like the individual you're talking about has not put their family first and not put individuals around them first, put themselves first because of a hot, you see a great deal. You're like, oh, I'm going to grab it. But sometimes
let me ask you this. That's a great point you just made, right? And a lot of people will make that argument, right?
Uh-huh.
But do you know what it feels like when you're gambling, if you're an addicted gambler?
I do.
And you're chasing your loss?
Absolutely. To get just
back.
That's
the same thing that happens when people that don't have strategic finance, don't have a mindset for strategic finance. It's in the moment. They're caught up.
But you answered my question for me. They have a problem with not understanding strategic finance. So that's not the economy. That's not inflation. That's the individual not understanding. There's an education gap somewhere. You just answered it for me.
It's not always education, though. It's not always education.
Well, finance.
Sometimes it's some type of addiction of some
Let me
sort.
ask you this. When you were in high school, were you ever taught how to write a check?
Yeah. I took a class called consumer math. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. That's the class that everybody needs. Most people don't need geometry.
It should be
put in chemistry. Most people need consumer math.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what most people need.
When I was a little boy, look, I'm gonna tell you something personal. When I was a little boy, I remember. I'm gonna get vilified for this. I remember being with certain individuals, and we can't get that right now. We'll just write a check. Write a check. I've seen it because I've seen them write checks when we want, and that paper, a piece of paper represented what we were gathering or getting.
Right.
So I always said, well, just write a check.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but we don't have the money. We can't. And I didn't understand. I was little. I was obviously very little.
Right.
I didn't understand that there had to be something to cover that check.
Right. Exactly.
So I just looked at it. Hey, just write the check. You wrote the check before. What the hell's the problem right now? I want that. I want that action figure. I don't know what the problem is. That skateboard
or
we didn't get it though.
Put it on your credit card. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, but the check was the thing, man. Because if we couldn't write a check, we weren't getting it. that's we weren't doing credit. It was check.
Do you look? Let me ask you guys that will be seeing this and are watching this now. Do you guys understand what happened and how credit card debt became what it was? It's kind of like everything else. Like Billy's saying, oh, everybody's got to be super responsible, right? But do you know initially when credit cards were introduced that what?
Let me just say that's not my, again, back to the disclaimer. That's not my full response. That's just
I understand that, but that was the response in this conversation.
No, I'm responding to an individual you're talking about who's fucking hyped up over I'm getting some leather, some heated seats, and I'm ready to go. I'm buying that today. I don't care who knows it. I'm going to get it because I got approved for it. I'll worry about that payment next month. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about the average individual who's sucked into needing a credit card, needing a car based on their income. I'm not, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who overspend. And when I say, so we talked about this recently about a car that I own, and with trade or selling on the street, whatever you want to do, if you want to get rid of it, the bank says, okay, you have this model, this trim, so to speak. Let's say trim, not model. You have this trim of a model.
Right.
Well, that trim may have extra accessories. They don't give a shit. It's based on that trim, just like your home. You extravagant, and you went in and you did all these things, and it's beautiful and all. House down the street, base model as hell, square footage sold for this price, same square footage as your house. That's the comp. So that comp in your neighborhood is what the price is going to go off of. So when you get caught up in buying all this extra shit that you didn't need, that's a problem with the individual. And you can argue
sometimes upgrades increase value.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's certain things that increase the value. I mean, leather is gonna resell higher than non-leather.
No, but see, again, there's a trim. So if we say SE comes with leather, and all SEs have this base price because they're based on leather or sunroof, but an extra package, you start adding mud flaps, floor mats that are rubberized instead of carpet.
The cold winter package,
the things that you like. Right. That trim, you know what? It's just like adding 20 by 20 tile instead of 16 by 16 tile. Then you did on a diagonal. That's on you because you wanted the pretty things.
Right.
At some point, you have to hold the individual accountable on, and I'm guilty of it too.
I'm not
there sitting here saying, "Hey, everybody," I'm guilty as hell of that. But I'm just telling you, and the reason why I'm able to speak on that, I'm guilty of it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm aware of it. I've done it. I've been there. So
we've all been that person, man. But you got to live with. I mean, let's think about this. At one point, probably. I mean, we're roughly around the same age. Car payments were 36 months. That's like an average, right? Get a reasonable car payment, 36 months, $300, $350, right?
On your taste, no.
No. Hear me out though.
But on your taste,
no, I'm not saying now. But what I'm saying is, think about this.
17, 18, you couldn't buy a 36-month car unless you were buying something used as hell that you didn't really want.
What do you mean? We said when we were young? Exactly. But
what are you saying now?
My first car payment was $204, and I financed it for 36 months. It was about $6,000 or something. I don't know. But that's 3 years. Now think about this. At that time, that was my dream car, 88 Maxima Square. If you guys know what it is, you know what it is. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful car during that period, man. Very special. It was a Maxima SE, which was the sport edition. That's that trim Billy was talking about a few minutes ago.
I'm very well aware.
It was 5-speed, baby. Sunroof. Oh my God, man. Don't get me going on this. This is another conversation. Let me just say this. 36 months. Now I'm 21.
You realize we went from war to innocent folks dying. I know, it's just so I feel guilty like going from one topic so extreme.
You can't, man, because this is how life moves, man.
But I don't want to also forget those people in the way.
We're not going to forget them. We can't forget them because every time we turn on the TV or the radio,
I don't give a shit what their religion is, who they are, where the country they're coming from. If you're in harm's way, man, I feel for you. I just wanted to put that out.
Absolutely. No,
this sucks to go there. But we are also talking about real life world issues, and this is one of them. So you had a man living in America with this Maxima that was well,
listen, let me finish my story, man.
It's just so
chop my point off. It's always
I'm getting back to the point. Though.
Okay, all right, drive it.
I was getting back to the Maxima, the SE
88.
Excuse me. Make sure you know it's an 88.
Now let me tell you something. That car was so popular.
Suzuki iMark, so I understand. Go ahead. I had an 88. I had several 88s.
You had the Suzuki iMark?
I did. SE. Sport.
You know what? Let me say something. I like that car too, even though I know that was an industry twin. But we'll do that another time. We go through all that. You know what? Let me say something. You know one thing we got to talk about.
I own 5 88s, different models and makes, so I can tell you. Yeah.
Jesus. Let me tell you one thing. We need to go back and have a conversation on.
We will. One day we'll get into that. Go ahead. So keep going about.
People don't understand what the industry
money from back in the day to now. keep on.
All right,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
let's get back in. So,
All right, so go ahead.
88 Maxima SE, which
Right.
is Sports Edition. That's the trim that Billy mentioned earlier about trims. And I'm 21, and I always wanted that car. I got it, right? But
Okay.
here's the kicker. That decision for me to buy that car at $204 a month, 36 months, impacted my financial future for 3 years.
So
Not like today's 60 months, 5 years. 72 months, 6 years. 84 months, 8 years. 96 months. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I wish they let me do 120 months. Because if you want to know the truth, but I buy a lot more cars than you do, so I'm a different.
Look, let me tell y'all something about me.
I understand what you're
when
saying.
I buy a car, I just had one of my cars right now hit 300K.
300,000 miles. Yeah.
And it's running smooth because I change the oil, I take care of it. But I believe when you buy a car, you buy it till, I don't say the wheels fall off, but literally one of my last cars, my last car, the wheel fell off. And that was a Honda Accord. I drove, oh my God, I would drive it anywhere. Hit something on the interstate one day, it broke the axle. But at that moment, when the axle broke, I was able to pull off safely. Everything worked out well, but it had 465,000 miles on it, and there was nowhere I wouldn't drive that car. And I drove it all day because of the business I'm in. I'm on the road all the time. So that was a great car to
wait a minute. What the hell does that have to do with individuals buying cars they can't afford?
What I'm trying to say is the impact.
You just made an impact by saying that you make the right decision. You buy a car that you know is going to last. You spend a certain amount of money, and you take care of the car versus the long-term payment. You'd rather have.
See, these are the things you have to take into account when you're buying one, because if you don't, you're not thinking about. See, when they're in there and let them go to remarketing or whatever they call it now. Don't you want your car to look good? Let's get you this underbody underspray. The car's already sprayed under.
Well,
it already has that coating. It has enough coating on it.
Yeah, but
I knew you were in that department.
Yeah, if you want a little extra undercoating, if you might want a little, but you can go to AutoZone honestly and get a can of that shit for $120, and you can spray up under the wheel wells and underneath the floorboards on the actual underbody, and get a little rubberized undercoating. So if you want to do that yourself, you can do it much cheaper than what the dealer tells you.
Yeah, until you do it yourself, spray it on the wrong stuff.
I think a lot of ports or manufacturers they've cut back on adding that to the vehicle, because it was an aftermarket accessory, so to speak. I say that loosely. It was something that was an added on thing for the dealership. So, again, we're still talking about you recognizing that you buy used cars. You have several used cars.
I do.
And last time you bought a brand new car? Have you ever bought a brand new car?
2004. 20 years ago.
You're what? You're 75 now? How old are you?
Don't let the gray beard fool you.
No, he's old.
49, man.
49, 70. But
I see a huge value in I think the smart buy is buying pre-owned. I'm not saying, if there was something that struck me,
I took the negative out of it, where it drops, the equity gets crushed.
Plummets
off the lot,
45% in most cases.
Matter of fact, I took you to buy your last used car.
Yeah,
you want
the very last one.
Do you remember you remember the license plate?
Yeah, you're riding now.
He bought a car, and he took his own money in there, his own check. It was a buy here, pay here, and nothing wrong with that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you got to buy here, pay here, and you got to get your shit right, all jokes aside, you do what you have to do, right? Just make sure it's right for you, as what he's getting at. Make sure you can afford it, maintenance, everything.
And don't neglect. Tell him, Billy, don't neglect the little side lots. Go ahead.
No, I was going to get into the maintenance. Make sure you take care of the car once you buy it. But the side lots have some great deals, because they find These cars that are one owner, they buy them at the auction, they bring them onto the lot. Sometimes you might be skeptical, but there's so many things at our fingertips now with Google, Carfax, Auto Trader. You can check all this stuff for free to see if this VIN number has been, whatever, because everything gets registered now. So I took him, excuse me, it's probably been a couple of years now, right? A couple of years, year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's been.
It's been
at least a year and a half.
It's been over 2 years.
Okay, well, it's been a little
over 2 years.
Yeah. So I took him to buy it, and here's the thing: he wanted me to give him a ride. He wanted to pick this car up that he found, and I don't want to get too deep in your business, but the place was a buy here, pay here, and they really they pushed. If you got bad credit, no matter what, you're gonna roll today.
You riding now,
but you're riding now. That was their little slogan, and it was on his license plate frame. But he walked in with a check and he bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So I called him while he was driving because he was in front of me. I was like, "You riding now?" And it was just funny because my man came off the street with cash. I say check, but he paid cash for it. And if you judge the book by its cover by looking at the car looked great, by the way, fantastic, beautiful,
it's wonderful,
beautiful,
man.
Beautiful.
It is great.
You can tell it was taken care of. He did his due diligence, and the whole time we were there, I was staying with him. He was studying, and he was looking at it. We went 2 different times to look at this car.
Yeah,
I mean, he was on it. And by the way, he didn't let anybody know his financial situation. He just walked in, looked at the car. He let them believe that he was going to finance there. That way he can get the best deal.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken. That's And he said, "I'm gonna go ahead and take it." Came back the next day. I took him down there, and he brought a check. Boom, pay cash for it. But cash is king. And now we can segue into the taxes, because I know cash is king until this new tax bill came along, and I know you're not happy about that.
Well, let me say this.
You want to finish the car thing, but go ahead.
Well, we'll talk about the car, because when you go buy a car, okay, you're gonna pay taxes on that initial transaction, right? But then, as long as you own that car, you're gonna pay taxes every year.
Well, you have personal property tax.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but not everybody has that.
Well, nobody should have it, as far as I'm concerned. How about that?
It's because of who you vote for.
It's because of who I voted for. That's why I got it.
No. I'm not talking about you as in big. I'm saying in general.
In general, right. So I think as a people, because I'm big on us, the people, we the people. I think we need to start being a little more essentially focused on how we're impacted tax-wise.
What's going to impact you directly?
Right. Because there's so many hidden taxes.
What's going to impact the majority directly?
Right.
Not just one topic, little small thing here or there. Now, I don't know. It's just, man, that's another tough thing. Some people want certain things. They don't realize that if you vote for this majority is going to pass this. I mean, I know where you are, and that personal property's been years. And it's anything that has a plate, trailer, jet ski,
motorcycle,
four-wheeler.
Let me tell you something now.
Anything is title.
From where we're from, let me just say this. Something popped up 1 year from where we're from back, it's probably been 30 years ago. All of a sudden, people that own boats, guess how much their tax was? Guess how much their annual tax was? You don't know, do you?
Well, I don't want to say yes. I don't want to give it away.
$1. So if we can turn boat tax into $1,
you can turn car property tax.
Exactly.
Right, so let me tell you. So I don't live there now, but where I was living, they did instead of doing it yearly like you, they did it up front. Ooh, sorry about that. They did it up front, and they based it off the value of the. Yeah, what'd you say?
It wasn't that bad. I mean, you hit the mic.
Some people can't. I can't. You're. You know what? People don't know us that well yet, but we go back and forth about stupid shit. But I'm gonna let that one slide right now. So they charge you up front based on the value of the vehicle,
right?
So it's good because you don't have that. You feel like it's good, so you're getting screwed.
How big is that percentage?
Makes you feel bad. It
Now, when you say
depends.
up front, how are they like?
It depends on the make and model. They go off the make and model. It's like an assessed value, just like your home property taxes. It's an assessed value of that vehicle, and they make you pay it up front. So you add that to your, and guess what they do? It gets financed.
Is it over the term of your finance?
Absolutely,
how
you just roll into the loan. Doesn't matter. It's the total dollar amount. So if it's a $4,000 bill, you just tack that on to the loan. They let you finance it, and over this 84 months, the 72 months, the 60 months, 67, or 6, 7, 8 year, whatever you want to go at, it gets rolled into that percentage. That's what you pay,
and you're done. You're not paying every year.
No, but you're up front paying it, but you're getting paid probably more because of interest on the loan.
Right. But
so in other words, let's say this. So let's say you finance with Bank of America, and the loan is $100,000, because let's say it was only $95,000, but $5,000 of that was that tax, not state tax, but that personal property.
Okay.
And it gets rolled into the loan, and this is far-fetched hypothetical. They take that money, right, and when you finish the loan, they pay out whoever's got to be paid now, and you pay them over the course of time. So they're paying them the dollar amount that's due right now, but you're going to pay interest on that loan to the bank that you borrowed from.
Banker's dream.
So absolutely, it's like doing a damn gap insurance. Same thing.
Yeah.
And remember this, folks. I'm gonna give you all the pointer right now. You buy a new car, you buy gap insurance, you trade that or sell that car, call and cancel that gap and get your money back.
The refund. Absolutely. Right. People don't know that.
Call and get your money back. That's a side tip.
Now, let me ask you about this.
That's outspoken one side tip.
Right. Let me ask you about this. With that being the case, with that up front, what happens if a guy like you that may trade a car in 6 months, a year, 18 months, that's a pretty harsh thing. And do they credit somehow?
So if you trade that car in, because you're negative or because of what you paid on the tax, there's an adjustment on the next car. Now, I don't know how that works, the stipulations as far as the numbers and like getting down into the nitty gritty, but that does translate.
But you're not losing that whole.
But I'm in a situation now where I'm going to sell one, so I don't know how that's going to work. If I sell it privately, I guess you lose. I don't know for sure, because if you buy a new car from someone and you sell this car outright to somebody else, that's done and gone. I don't know how that works. You can't claim anything. It's gone. The dealership's not recouping anything. They're not making any money. The state doesn't see any transactions, so it's just done. Boom, you're done with that one.
Oh, the state sees the transaction too.
Well, I didn't mean they're not going to see it as far as taxes. I just meant that they're not going to see you trading it to a new dealer for a new car with a higher amount, and boom, boom, boom. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Because I don't know for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely going to see it though. That's you know how that goes, brother. So what else is going on, Billy?
Well,
watching baseball these days.
Well, actually, my Nationals just played tonight. You can tell I'm wearing the Expo hat.
Yeah,
watching the Nationals. Some of y'all, if you're a little younger, you might not remember the Expos, but Tim Raines and who else? Larry Walker comes to mind. I had so many of his freaking cards from Don Russ.
That was a Canadian. What was there? Was it a Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal Expos.
Montreal Expos. Okay.
It became the Washington Nationals, man. Andre Dawson played for them as well. Andre Dawson, Larry Walker. Let's see. Let me think. Pedro Martinez. He played for the Boston Red Sox, pitcher.
I forget that the Expos are the Nationals. I forget that. But I remember when that whole thing was going on, because the Expos was an expansion team.
No. So the Nationals became that.
Well, I know that
the Nationals lost to the Athletics tonight. I just see that's how bad my mind is, man. All right, so they lost 6-7 to the Athletics.
Sounds like a good game.
But it was like when I looked at it earlier before you and I went live, it was like 6-0 or something.
Oh,
Like I don't know what happened.
oh,
Maybe I saw it
yeah,
wrong earlier, but I know it was like 6-0, 6-1. I was like, damn, okay, we got this. It's done. How do you
So
get
let,
that?
so let me say this, 'cause I know some people don't, there's some people that don't like baseball for a lot of different reasons, but what I can
Right.
say is I subscribe. I got MLB TV. And not that I sit and just watch, but I do enjoy baseball. It's like one of my favorite
Mhm.
sports. But they got this thing they're doing there called the big inning when you sign in, and what they'll do, they're showing 4 games at once. And it just, yeah, man. It's 4 games at one time.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is, man. But baseball has its moments.
Ooh, big. You're actually you're breaking up, man.
Oh,
Man, see, you got to pay for better internet, dog.
man, I got a top tier, man. Got a top tier, man. Something must have jumped on my network. I got all these phones and stuff, man.
Kevin Gates
Let me
times
check
4.
this
He got 8 phones. You're fine. No, you're fine. I'm just letting you know it did it earlier, but I didn't say nothing because you were in a moment.
Sorry, everybody knew. They knew, where I was, what I was doing, what's going on.
Nothing wrong with that.
As we go, man, this is gonna get more and more interesting. But one thing y'all gonna find out is we got a heart for people, man. We care about people, man. We really do.
I'm glad you segued into that because that's where I wanted to go next. Seriously.
Yeah. Well,
it's time to wind it down, but that's another thing. It's just so you don't want to go too long, but you want to get your point across and you want to try to get people to comment and subscribe. And it's just, there's so many topics to touch on. There's so much shit to talk about. Like, how do you get it all in, man?
there's so much just in life in general to talk about. And, I'm blown away every day. I mean, I know we can look at the world and say, man, we feel like it's going to hell in some places. But there are so many good, kind, genuine people in the world. And the best thing you can be is to be another one of them. And it doesn't mean be a sucker, be a pushover. It doesn't mean any of that. It means just be a genuine quality person.
Yeah, being compassionate or care for someone else doesn't mean any of that shit. Nothing. Right. Nothing. If you care for one another, and look, for anybody out there you don't even have to be religious, man, to care about one another.
Right.
To be nice to one another. Now, Big and I are a little different. You may sit here and you may hear me say something that you might not agree with. I may be a little more aggressive or say something to the point, or throw a word around that's not appropriate. But
he gonna use inappropriate words.
Say it again.
I said you're gonna use some inappropriate words at times.
I just want to make sure you repeated that. That's all. But I still care about my fellow man, and I still want people to do well. I do have the attitude a lot. I don't really care. So I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. But at the end of the day, I want people to have a safe haven, a place to call home, somewhere warm and comfortable, food on their plate. And just food in general, man. And health. And we talked about health care or just being attended to when you need something.
Right.
And I mean worldwide. I ain't talking about just here, man. I love America. I love this country. We have some issues in our past, which we will get into eventually on some. We
got issues in our present, brother. But
wait a minute. I'm trying to.
I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you said about being great and having all these things. I'm just saying we really have some really fucked up problems from our past. We have problems in our future, problems in our current. We're always going to have it. Nothing's going to ever be perfect. Have you seen the history of mankind?
Yeah.
Rise and fall of everything. Give a shit what race it is. I mean, stuff. It's dominant, man. It's like people love conflict. It's amazing shit. But we need to rise above that and try to get over that. And will it ever happen? I don't know. It's just crazy, man. And social media today, man, where everybody can just get their fingertips right and see everything. I don't know that it helps calm that down. People are, it just fires shit up.
Well, there's a way, man. That's why we're here now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
we're here, and we're here to come bring some normalcy to the internet.
Well, yeah.
I mean, in our own way.
Some normalcy.
I mean, in our own way.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because that's what we're here to do, and we appreciate you guys. If you watched this video or been with us on the stream, or you're watching it on the replay and you've been here this long, we appreciate you. And it's early. It's early for us, and it's early for what.
It's our first video. It's actually our first live.
Oh, it's our first live.
Our whole platform is based on live, so it's our first one.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, we had the initial first video. We had to wait to get approval to go live or something like that.
We couldn't actually go live. Now, we've been talking about doing this for a few years, and I actually did the setup, and it wouldn't let me go live. And then it said you had to wait so many hours, like 48 hours, I think 24, 48 hours. And then it took time for that. So we decided to go ahead and do an introduction video, which we were trying to do an introduction, and somebody went off on tax stuff. So that happened. And then, but here's the thing. Remember this, when you watch our channel, and this, I'm speaking for me right now. I'm not speaking for Big, I'm speaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch us, I want you to feel like you're at your family's house, or you're out back with a friend, or you're in the garage, or you're out somewhere at the mall, or you're hanging out. Because when you start talking to someone and someone mentions something, you're like, oh, by the way, speaking of, and you'll go to something else. And that's what I feel like we're doing here. We're not gonna, I know there's some people who have like a set schedule and they're gonna do this and that, and that's fine. More power to them. That's not who I am. Hey, that's not who Big. That's not who Big is, and I know that for a fact. So that's why we're doing this. We're outspoken, and if you don't like the platform, then maybe it's not for you. But I do believe most people can relate to just segueing, like I keep using that word, into another topic. That's what happens when you talk to somebody. You go visit someone, family, friend. You don't talk about the same thing the whole time you're sitting there. You move to the next topic. You move, or somebody brings something up from childhood or whatever. Cars. The other night,
Maxima.
I'm sorry you had that, but you bring up things that sometimes you're just not expecting, and it's good to touch on those things because someone may be affected by that. Someone may bring back a memory, and someone may be able to say, "Hey, I remember that."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to do. And if that fits you and you like it, make sure you subscribe and comment, let us know how you feel about that. But that's what it is.
And share. And then as time goes on, and if you're watching and let's say you're a little nervous, hopefully over time you understand that we're just people. The audience, they're just people, and we just like having good conversations.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we'd definitely want you guys to jump in. We're looking really, really excited about getting to meet some new people in some different places. Matter of fact, if you made this point, if you're seeing the video to this point, put in the chat, man. Just put a shout out from like where you're from in there. And we'll just get to see how this thing starts to grow. And
remember this: so if you're with us on a live, typically the comments will move to a different section. So when someone comes on and comments, when the video gets loaded up on YouTube, you may not see your comments. So the live is kind of a thing where you are right now. You're doing your thing, you comment and all that. So keep that in the back of your mind. We also have to film as if we're doing a video for an audience that's not here. Even if we have 1,000 people live, we have to still film for, down the road. That video has to get uploaded and so people can see it and talk and get the conversation moving. So, but if you're enjoying it and you like it, man, subscribe. If you don't like it, still subscribe, because that's the way we get it. It is the right thing. Do the right thing. DTRT, man. DTRT. Do the right thing. So
do the right thing.
Remember, Big, what I just said, man. You're the one excited about people. Me, I'm not a real people guy, but guess what? I'm all about conversation.
Yeah.
And I know, it may be something that just breaks your heart, man. I don't want you to cry on camera. Anyways, man. I mean,
you know what it is, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, anyways, we go. Y'all, it's been great. I'm Big, and he's... Hey,
man. I appreciate everything, and I enjoyed it. I I wish we could stick to one topic. But
One
again,
day,
it's real
maybe.
life. It's real life, though. But it's real life.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been anywhere in real life, man, you move to another topic.
Yeah.
Somebody brings something up from the conversation, and you, boom, you move on to something else. And you turn around to the person you were talking to. My bad, I didn't mean to do that. But I was talking to, everybody understands. That's real life. So we're going to touch on topics that are tough, like we did in the beginning. And sometimes you might not want to hear certain things, but sometimes we got to face certain things, and we got to go from there, and we'll see where it leads. So I enjoyed it, Big.
I did too, man. So as I was saying previously, I'm Big.
I'm Billy.
And he's... Who are you, man? Who are you?
I mean, I'm undefined, bro. There's no definition that fits me, man. Is that true?
I would agree.
You've known me.
I would agree.
For almost 25 years, man. So you can speak on that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go, and as we go, things will get a little smoother, get a little better at it. Even though I think we're doing just fine, but then again, I'm big headed as hell, so that's just me.
Big headed, big bearded. But thank you guys for taking time out to be with us tonight, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the replay. We appreciate you, and we look forward to spending time with you in the future.
We do.
And as I say for the third time, my name's Big, and his name is
Billy. The one
and we are
outspoken ones.
Outspoken ones.
Tighten up.
It's all good.
We'll
get it there, y'all. But thank you so much.
All right, y'all take care.
Till next time.
All right, later.